Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about Destination X episode 4. We're starting to lose some good gamers at this point.
Oh, yeah. And what I'm learning is there's more gaming going on than the edit is showing us.
Yeah.
But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/nerdtainment.
Yeah. I mean, there's only so much you can show in an episode.
And remember, we're getting hour-long episodes on this show where we're sort of now accustomed to an hour and a half with Survivor and Amazing Race.
We are so spoiled for those
Yeah.
90-minute shows.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so let's talk about this episode. Obviously, Peter and Janae had just entered the bus.
Yeah.
So we got to get to know them.
We get to know them, and Peter walks onto that bus and he's already playing the game because we open on this moment that we sort of cliffhung on the last episode where Ty is lying about having met Janae.
Yes.
And Peter looks her dead in the eye and says, "You're being 100% honest? You haven't met her?" And she's like, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm telling the truth. Yeah. So we're going to proceed to see an episode where people are mad at
Everybody knows she's
Ty
lying.
for
Yeah.
lying, but come to really, she owns it up. She told
Yeah.
me in our interview, she was like, I did that for like a day.
Yeah.
She was like, and then I told first like her alliance.
Yeah, but unfortunately you lied.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is like this get to know Peter and Janae. Some people are learning that Peter was the Bachelor. They didn't know that.
Yes.
So just a quick little like, here are new people. You know, the girls are talking and Allie, I think, is asking her, or they're just sort of talking like, have you traveled a lot? And Janae is saying like, oh yes, like
was a military brat. Mm-hmm.
Have you traveled a lot? She says to Allie. And Allie said the most confusing thing to me. She said, I've been to all 7 continents, but not Europe.
Yep.
I don't know what.
Make the math.
Yeah. Can't make sense of that.
Can't quite.
Europe's one of the 7.
It is
so
one of
you've
the
either
7.
been there or you haven't.
I've been to all 6 except Europe.
I've been to all of them except Europe. Not all 7 except Europe. Because if you've been to all 7, you've been to Europe.
Right. It was very confusing, and the people were like, "Oh, that's cool." Also, Peter and Janae are going to be like, "Oh, we're on the outs."
They know right away.
So
yeah, they're like, "We have to do this together, and let's look for someone we can trust."
Well, we're going to go do a challenge first.
Before that,
we
get like a little whoop, 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 whoop. Now it's the morning.
Oh,
right, like overnight in the bus.
So that's not a. Whoop, whoop, whoop,
it's not a wormhole,
okay,
but it's a transition.
It says
and it's morning. They blew by the kiss between Allie and Shane.
Yeah, no, they're
the way they have been hyping up this like finger thing and their flirty flirt, and the way the kiss was just, I literally had to rewind twice to catch who was kissing.
They kissed the last episode.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe that's why they blew by it this time.
They did the finger, and then they leaned in for a goodnight kiss.
Okay.
And then they went back to
They're still kissing. They're still kissing.
So they're just showing us that is still a thing.
Yes. But yes, now we're going to go do a challenge. JDM has brought them to a fishing village. I immediately know that it's Amsterdam. You see the bicycle B-roll. You're like, yeah, I know where we are.
It looked Amsterdam.
Yeah. They're not in Amsterdam in this moment, but like, I knew that's where we were headed because we've talked about
it's definitely Netherlands, right?
Netherlands. And based on what we've talked about, think of the most obvious city in a country, and that's what they're going to do for season 1.
Seriously.
So we knew it was.
If there's a season 2, are they going to do?
I don't know, because to your point,
biggest city,
people have to know these places in order to be able to kind of like, you can't. This is not the Jeopardy of European geography. Like, people don't know small towns in these countries.
And also pardon my ignorance.
Okay.
What other city do you know in the Netherlands? Exactly.
I don't even remember the name of the fishing village that they're currently in.
No, it was not a town I knew.
Yeah.
I only think I know Amsterdam. And so I was like, if it's not Amsterdam, you can't go to the Netherlands.
No. Like, obviously we learned about Brussels or Belgium. You could be in Brussels or Antwerp. Like, those are 2 known cities, but yeah, I think Amsterdam might be the only place I know.
It
in
is
the
alerting me
Netherlands.
that the internet is horrible. I'm sorry if we are glitchy or something's going on,
Oh.
but I don't know what to do.
Can't tell. It looks good on our end.
I know. So sorry if it looks like crap.
But yes, they're in this small fishing village. I'm guessing that Destination X for this episode is going to be Amsterdam, but we don't know quite yet.
Right.
We get the goggles on thing, and then we whoop, whoop, whoop,
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
and they're split up.
Yes.
I didn't understand how they got split up.
No. They tell us randomly, but I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Allie, Mac, and Ty?
Doesn't
Three
feel
people
random.
who are pretty much working together
Mhm.
are sitting in this room with Jeffrey.
Jeffrey? Yeah.
I didn't feel like that was random at all.
Yeah.
But they said random teams. And so we're going to learn that these three sitting in the room, one are each with a team.
Yes. So everybody else is on the suspended table, goggles on. Two of them are assigned to each of the ladies who are seated inside with Jeffrey,
Right.
JDM. And it's kind of a fun challenge where they have to just describe what they're
love
eating
it.
blindfolded.
Yes.
And then the ladies have to guess what on the table they're eating. And they really did a nice job with coming up with dishes that sort of had similar components when they were like,
Right.
oh, there's like some kind of like ball or goop or something on
Yeah.
the top of the thing. And there was one with salmon roe and one with a jam. And like,
Yeah.
it was the descriptions, they were not all so distinct that you'd be like, obviously this is pickled herring, you know?
Right. And what I love about this challenge is people cannot describe foods.
You can't. The food
They are
is so visual.
So grossed out.
Yeah.
That they're just like, ooh, it's disgusting. And you're like, is it a savory disgusting?
Uh-huh.
Is it salty?
Is it salty? Is it fishy?
Right. You got to give, and Biggie literally is the only one
Yeah.
in this whole row of people who understands a descriptive word.
Yeah. And it's just, everybody's just grossed out by what they're eating.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like, you know, pickled herring is probably not the most pleasant thing to eat. And so it is, you're just sort of like gagging because you're probably in your head thinking, is this Fear Factor-esque? Like, am I eating bugs? Like, what am I really putting in my mouth?
Yeah.
And so when you don't see what's on the plate, you're just kind of grossed out for the most part by what you're eating. And there's just a lot of gagging noises that the ladies are trying to decipher and not a lot of helpful clues.
So what do we have? We have Janae and Shane with Allie, and they're not helpful at all. Then Kim and Peter with Mac, pretty much not helpful there.
Yeah.
And then Rick and Biggie with Ty. And Biggie is really the only one who's going to be helpful. And so Ty is going to be the first one to get one correct.
Yeah. And then we do one round where Allie and Mac get it wrong and Ty gets it right and Ty gets 1 point. And then JDM's like, going into the final round worth double. And I'm like, the final round? It's the second round. Did they do a bunch of rounds where nobody got it right that they just had to cut because it's like, what's the point of being this?
That sounds right. I didn't clock that. I would have asked Ty about that. But yeah, it seemed like they were trying to get Allie and Mac to try and add something to the board.
Yeah.
And they are going to finally get one right, but
not Allie and Mac.
Yeah, Allie and Mac get one right, but their people
don't.
it up.
Their people didn't finish it.
So that was going to get the point.
Disgusting when Janae spit that thing out of that mush out of her mouth into a pile on the plate. I was like,
fair.
Disgusting.
Look, sometimes it don't go down.
Yeah, but you're right. Biggie, you know, one time he won a year's worth of pancakes from IHOP in an eating competition. And so he is the only skilled player.
His confessionals are gold. I'm sorry.
So good.
How did they find this man?
So I forget what the final thing was with Rick and Biggie, but Ty got that right. And so they ended up with 3 points. Allie and Mac's team ended up with 0 because they didn't finish.
There were 3 points?
3.
No, they only got that one thing right. I don't think they got another one right.
Well, Ty got the first thing right, and then she also got the final round thing, which was worth 2 points. So she got 3 points.
Whatever. I think they were Frankensteining this together.
Very much so. But then what's interesting about this, again, I think they produced these challenges well and made for interesting gameplay with it. Ty doesn't get to see the city. Biggie and Rick get their goggles turned off and they get to look around the city and see where they are. And both of them immediately know it's the Netherlands.
Yes. It looks like the Netherlands. They get to look around. They're also by the sea or the ocean, which I felt like most people could probably just feel that in the air. We didn't really talk about the fact that they're hoisted up. Did we talk about that? Because
no, I mentioned it was a suspended table, but yeah, that was such a cool visual.
It really was. And you know that's going to kind of just mess with your senses.
Imagine being there as a townsperson.
Oh,
You'd be like, what the hell are these Americans doing?
What is this? But it's amazing. So yeah, the dudes get to look around. They're going to convene before Ty gets on the bus. Ty's not even on the bus. We get to see her
we wormhole back into the bus, and the ladies in the restaurant have a little bit of a delay in coming back.
So the guys are like, let's not be 100% honest.
They were like, so Ty's a liar. We know.
Yikes.
Because she said she didn't meet Janae. We all know she did. We're not stupid.
Yeah.
So I don't think we want to give her the real info.
So they do know.
Ty comes on the bus. My boys, let's hear what you saw. She feels like the three of us must be good. We just fun together. You're going to give me the real. And I got to say, I think they were pretty quick in terms of what they cooked up here.
Yes.
But Ty, I don't think pried hard enough into what they were saying, because they said the placemats, red, yellow, black, very smart, could be Belgium or Germany. If I'm Ty, I'm like, but what did you see?
Right. And I was like, they should tell her some vague stuff. And maybe they did, and it's just not in the edit.
Could be.
But she is going to walk away from this thinking it is either Belgium or Brussels.
Belgium or Germany.
Germany.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, she's going to go try to build an alliance with Peter.
Well, yeah, you're right. But again, I was kind of impressed that Peter's just diving right in.
Right.
And he actually goes to her and he's like, are you willing to tell me what they told you? And she is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is going to backfire on her in a big way because she has the wrong information. So either it's going to get out that she spilled this information that she was supposed to keep secret, or potentially it's going to look to Peter like she's lying to him. And she's giving, even though she was fed incorrect information, depending on what happens, it might look like Ty is lying to Peter.
Right. Especially,
So they've really set her up, Rick and Biggie, 100%. In a big way.
But this is all just putty in their hands because Peter, like you said, he's the one playing right now.
Yeah.
He goes to her, and then he's going to go to Rick. Which honestly, you should go to Rick because Rick is on the outs with nobody.
I know. I'm surprised. I wonder if they picked up on that because I don't think they know that.
No, they do.
But he is absolutely the right person to go.
Anyone is talking to Rick. I think it's obvious Rick doesn't have friends. I think it's probably
the vibe on the bus is probably pretty easy to read with close quarters, and you kind of can see who's talking to who pretty quickly.
So, Rick feels great about this, and
he's thrilled.
Loves it.
He's like, my God, anybody is reaching out to me. Amazing.
Please be my friend.
Yeah.
And Peter's like, I am your friend, and this is what Ty told me.
And Rick's like, I'm not surprised she told you. Well, I am surprised she told you.
He's like,
but I'm not surprised that that's the information because I told her that, and that's not the truth, actually.
Yeah. He's like, she told you that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not true. So he's going to give Peter the truth.
Yeah.
Which I was like, Rick.
I mean, Peter does a great...
cannot zip it ever.
Peter just does a great job with this because Rick now is saying, Ty went right to him. No, she didn't. Peter went to her. And she then gave the information after. But it wasn't like Ty ran to Peter and was like, guess what? It's Belgium or Germany.
Sure.
But Peter
doesn't matter, though.
Comes off innocent
here.
Because Rick just already kind of has his sights on Ty, clearly. He's lied to her about this information. So he's jumping to oh, Ty betrayed us again. And it's like, yeah, she did, but not quite in as active a way as you're suggesting. You know
who also betrayed y'all? You. Because Rick just gave the real information to Peter.
Exactly.
So but Biggie is literally the only one who has been betrayed here by both of those folks.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying everyone's playing the game.
I'm not faulting Rick though, because Rick's on an island.
I'm not faulting Ty. Ty is playing the game.
Yeah.
Like every single other person on this bus.
Mm-hmm.
He has just gotten caught a little bit.
Yeah.
And Rick got caught a little bit, but he is not going to get caught in this moment.
Yeah. Yeah. But Rick's like, so Ty's a liar.
Yeah.
And now you know. And just so you know, we're in an alliance now. We're in the Netherlands. And Peter's like,
well, not that Ty's a liar. She's had the wrong information.
Yeah, but I think.
And she's spilling.
The lie comes from her saying she'd never met Janae. So like, you already know that. Now we agreed with her that we were not going to share this information, and she shared it with you. So you just know you can't really trust her, but you can trust me. And yes. We're in the Netherlands. And Peter's like, Rick, I do trust you. And I want you to trust me. And I also want you to trust Janae.
Yes.
And the three of us can be a trio.
Yep.
And Rick is like, music to my ears.
Music.
Peter, yes, I accept this.
Where
rose.
do I sign? Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then Biggie asks Rick, right? Biggie and Rick have a moment where he's like, what did you tell Peter? And Rick is like, well, guess what? Peter told me that Ty told him this. So Rick has a moment with Biggie where he's like, guess what? Ty did what we knew she was going to do.
Yeah.
So, Ty is just the target this episode, very clearly.
Very clearly.
Yeah.
They're going to go to some sand dunes for a challenge. Are these
Goggles
in the
on.
Netherlands?
Whoop, whoop, whoop. It's the largest shifting sand dune in Europe, Sarah.
In the Netherlands?
Never heard of it in my life.
Is this just outside of Amsterdam?
Not only have I heard of 0 towns in the Netherlands outside of Amsterdam,
The Hague.
The Hague. That's a good one.
But that is the only one. That's the only other one.
No, I have never heard of a shifting sand dune.
I was like, this doesn't even look like the Netherlands. This is a really big red herring.
Can I ask a question that maybe I shouldn't ask as someone who's trying to present as some sort of expert on Destination X?
Oh, okay.
I might come off stupid by it.
It's the first season. No one's an expert. Go ahead.
As far as the clues go, is it always the first clue gives you the country and the second clue gives you the city?
No, but they do start with the country.
Right.
I mean, there's not just 1 and 2 clues. But yes, the first.
There's more than one clue, Jen. Like, don't they usually have like two goggles on challenges?
Right.
So the first one, does it lead you to the country, and the second one, the city?
Oh, yeah.
Remember they did that with France.
Yeah. I think.
Although Moulin Rouge was kind of part of the first clue.
I think they're starting big and moving in.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm not sure if it's 100% black or white like that.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
I don't think that's a dumb question. We're still learning the show.
Yeah.
But it does seem like big, country flags first.
Yeah.
And then we'll narrow in on the city if they feel like giving you clues for the city.
They are on this dune, unless you are a geography buff. I don't think this dune is giving anything away to anybody.
Nope.
But they see this display then, which is like actually the site of the challenge, with the melting clocks, with the portrait of JDM that feels Van Gogh-esque. That is meant to lead to Amsterdam because, yes, the Van Gogh Museum is in Amsterdam.
And did you know that?
I did know that because I've been to Amsterdam and I went to the Van Gogh Museum. I wasn't sure about the Dali stuff. I was like, oh, yeah, I could see this being a misdirect for Spain.
Right.
But
you know Dali, they're not
like,
in Spain.
Is there some big Dali installation in Amsterdam?
No, I think that's a red herring.
It's just a red herring.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they try to throw people who maybe don't know that they're quite in the Netherlands. But I think everyone's going to figure out that they're in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about a museum in Amsterdam.
Okay.
I was impressed that Mac knew that, but or was it Allie?
It was Mac.
Mac.
Yeah.
But I also feel like if I was told that we were going to be on a bus traveling Europe for this show, I would have studied things like that. Like that's something I would have read in a book.
That actually, for the first time we heard a contestant say that. And I was like, oh, duh.
Yeah,
like,
right?
The producers told them, study up on Europe.
You got to know, you got to know locations of Europe.
Yeah.
And so, you're going to read just random facts. Like there's a
the fact that Ty knew that Antwerp was the diamond capital of whatever.
A random.
Then she definitely would have known that a Van Gogh museum was in Amsterdam.
Maybe, yeah.
I think. It's like the Van Gogh Museum is one of the major sort of tourist attractions in Amsterdam. So I think that's something that you would have read on a Wikipedia page.
I like this challenge.
I love this challenge.
We've seen variations of this on other shows.
Yeah.
And I like it.
Yes. Smash the vase of the player you trust the least.
Beautiful.
And the person left with their vase is going to win the challenge and be told where we are.
Yeah.
So there's various ways to think about the strategy here. Do you actually smash the vase of the person you trust the least? You have to think about what kind of a message that is sending. Or do you just smash the vase of a person who you don't want to get the clue?
Right. What message do you want to give whatsoever? But it gets tricky because you don't know who they're going to hit next. You kind of have to think about if you can figure out who they're going to hit next.
Yep.
Because whoever's at the end, you want to give you the answer.
Yeah.
So I thought it was wild. Allie, first off, great strategy. Allie's like, I don't mind going first. Cool. I'm stressed. Let me get it out of the way. Absolutely. I would have done the same thing. Because yes, you want to go first.
Yeah.
And she's going to take out Janae with the simple thing. You're new. I don't know you. Great. Easy.
We know that's not 100% of the story because she just did not like Janae from the second Janae walked on the bus.
But that's
remember
also,
when she was like, "Oh, did the country like you on Love Island?" Like she just kind of has been shady to Janae from the jump. I don't know what's going on there. I was shocked that Janae did not turn around and be like, "I'm smashing Allie."
Exactly. Why would you not immediately smash Allie's vase?
It's no blood on your hands.
Yeah.
Because it's like tit for tat.
Yeah.
But she chooses to go for Kim.
Because that then leaves Allie, who is one of the most liked people on the bus.
Yeah.
Leaves Allie for the very end. Allie was almost safe. And I would have been so mad if the person who smashed my vase was the one getting the clue.
Yeah.
So that was wild.
Yeah.
But what's even more wild is we come down to Shane, who has
Allie and Biggie.
His bro or his girl.
Thank you. Yeah. Which one is he going to pick? And he smashes Allie.
Were you surprised?
Yeah.
I was actually talking to the TV. I was like, are y'all serious? You left him here with his girl? Of course he's going to choose his girl.
Wasn't it Allie who said in confessional, like, I know Shane and I know what he's going to do?
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I know too. He's going to save you. But I don't know what she actually thought he was going to do. She didn't come back with a second response.
He smashed Allie. I don't know if it's a attempt, because again, think about the messaging you're sending. Everybody already knows you're in a showmance. Do you want to amplify that and have people be like, well, of course they're unbreakable, blah, blah, like he's kind of maybe showing the people like, look, we're kissing, but she's not my number one in this game.
Yeah, no, I think it's really good.
Yeah.
Because if he truly wants Biggie to be his number one, be solid with Biggie.
Yeah.
That is smart. Yeah. So I thought this was great.
Why do you think it ended up Biggie? I think I would have smashed Biggie.
Because I think Shane is really truly relying on Biggie's knowledge.
Yes, but I guess I'm asking more big picture. Why didn't anyone else smash Biggie? Do you think Biggie is really well liked and trusted on the bus?
Yeah, I think he is the most liked and trusted on the bus.
Okay.
And then I'd put Allie second, which here we are, both of them
makes
at the
sense
end.
That they're the final two.
But you got to think about that stuff. You got to smash some of theirs just so it's not them, but then you don't want to get on their bad side. Yeah. So here we are.
Yeah.
So Shane,
I didn't clock many more clues in this challenge.
That's it. Again, if y'all aren't going to recap the clues for me, I don't know. Here's
the thing. I am kind of surprised we didn't see any of we're all next to a vase. Let me pick this up and look at it. I assume none of the vases there said made in Amsterdam on the bottom of them.
They put that clue on.
But you never know.
Between the challenge and that.
But do we know that?
I do know
that. Okay.
As a producer.
I just feel like we didn't see anybody pick it. I guess if that had been there, maybe they would have showed.
Yes.
This was here all along and nobody clocked it.
Because I think once they smash it, you would see it.
Yeah.
Once you hit, even if you don't pick it up, which yes, you should always be touching everything, looking around.
Yeah.
But when everyone smashed it into a box, all you have to do is be like,
peek down.
Oh, that's at Amsterdam.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it was there.
Well, so Biggie is the one who's left, and now he's going to go to the VIP room, which is a secret room on the bus that we didn't know about, which I love.
It was there the whole time?
There the whole time. The whole time?
How many? Oh my God.
Do you know that
was
reference?
A Johnny Mac voice.
But do you know that reference?
No.
Sally Field and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh.
When the mask comes off and she realizes it's Robin Williams and she goes, Daniel. And she goes, the whole time? Because he's like seeing her like in like her bra and underwear or whatever. Like, yeah. So anyway.
No, I have been watching so many old videos of ours, and you used to do Johnny Mac. I
used to go, hello.
Yes.
As a greeting, because I was obsessed with Johnny Mac early on. This show has evolved.
It has. But that was like, whoa, Johnny Mac just showed up on the bus right there.
But yeah, I love that they're revealing this hidden room. And that's when, honestly, the bus is growing on me. It is a magic maze. I guess it's just so sort of, it's not that expansive, but it's expansive enough that they wouldn't have questioned, like, the top of the bus feels a little smaller than the bottom of the bus.
There's a door.
Literally a door.
Well, you'd never thought, what's this door go to? The bus is only so big.
No one went.
Yeah, touch the door. It was there the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was really bizarre. I don't know what Delftware is, Michelle, but thank you. That makes sense. If there's more
I think JDM
clues.
Does say that. It's like a type of base.
I need them to spell out the clues. It was much more
I know
fun.
They didn't do that this episode.
Episode 2 was the best when they spelled out all the clues for us. Okay. Anyway,
so Biggie's in the VIP room. He's like, holy crap, this has been here the whole time next to the beds.
Okay.
And JDM straight up is like, turn the vase over. We're in Amsterdam. And he's like, so you know where we are, but here's the deal. It's not that simple. Mm-hmm. You can obviously tell whomever you want that we are in Amsterdam. You have the power here. You have the knowledge. Knowledge is power, as they say. But if everybody guesses, not just Amsterdam, but the Netherlands, you're going home. Ooh. You have to convince someone to guess a country other than the Netherlands. And I like that twist.
I love that twist. And they are so lucky. Are they lucky? Did something else go on? But they're so lucky that they already had someone
literally
primed.
They already planted the seed.
Because if we were in France, I think everyone would be like, no, we're in France, no matter what you try to convince me of.
Yeah.
Maybe not Italy. I don't know.
But I think maybe with France, you could have convinced someone that it's Netherlands because the colors of the flag are the same.
Right. In Switzerland, people were confused. Whatever.
But you're right. It's like the fact that they had already done this with Thai.
Yes. It only made sense. Like, even if I wasn't like targeting Thai, I'd be like, I can't start from scratch with somebody.
It would, if
she's already right there.
Yeah. If he had tried, if he'd not done any groundwork and everybody had been talking about Netherlands all along and he came back to the bus and said, we're in Brussels.
Yeah.
She would have been like,
you'd have,
I don't think so, honey.
I'd be like, why? What did you learn in that VIP room? And if you were like, oh, I just flipped over a vase and it said Brussels, I'd be like, okay. Yeah. And if that's all I have, then maybe I go off of it. But if I'm hearing other things from other people, it's not guaranteed. But they had Thai ready to go outside of Netherlands. And so all he had to do was confirm. I went to the VIP room.
Well, and I liked seeing how this played out. And again, like the buses, people's ability to strategize and have secret conversations on the bus is turning out to be better than I initially presumed. But we see Biggie and Shane have a quick sidebar where he's like, it's Amsterdam, but here's what I have to do. They decide, like, Ty's the one. Like, she's got to go. We can't trust her. She's really strategic. She's doing well. So we got to focus in on that. But we hear Biggie say, like, I got to come up with something quick to convince her. Like, I already have the flag color thing, but, like, what am I going to tell her I saw in this room to convince her?
I don't know that you have to say much. What did he see? He just saw a thing that says Amsterdam.
Which he switches to be like, oh, the bottom of the vase said made in Brussels.
Right.
But I do think someone might know that vase, that pottery style, and be like, I know that pottery style is not Belgian. So he adds on Belgian chocolate and Belgian diamonds.
And maybe the diamonds might have been a little too far, but Belgian chocolate is not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea.
Just be like, it said Belgium or Brussels, and there was chocolate.
But I think like, even though the diamonds thing isn't specifically Brussels, I think Ty might have received all this information and said like, okay, he said that the vase said Brussels and Belgian chocolate for sure. The diamonds, I know, is more Antwerp, but maybe that's a red herring. Like they're all, I think, now hip to the fact that there are red herring clues that are meant to lead you astray. So I think she might have dismissed that and just said like, okay, well, at least the diamonds confirm that it's Belgium. And he's saying that Brussels is on the bottom of the vase. And he already told me the thing about the flag colors earlier on. So I'm sold.
Right. This is her alliance. She has no other information. So it makes sense. Like, and honestly, this is what Biggie has to do. If that's the twist in the game, it makes sense. So this takes us to the map room.
Yeah. And by the way, they brought Allie up too to make it feel like this is the four of us.
The four of us. Yeah.
And we're giving you the information.
Yes.
And Allie, basically, they leave. Ty leaves and Biggie leaves, and it's just Shane and Allie up there. And Shane's like, it's Amsterdam. And she's like, wait, what?
Well, Allie seemed like she was already suspicious. She was like, how much of this was true? Who asked that to their alliance? Something was already shady.
Yeah. But he tells her it's Amsterdam, and she's bummed because she likes Ty and she wanted to be aligned with Ty. And she's realizing that they're setting Ty up to go home.
So she does nothing.
Yeah.
That's a choice.
But it's because she also knows that Ty lied about meeting Janae.
I'm sorry. So did Shane.
No, he didn't. He told her when we met Peter.
He didn't say it right away. He just...
But he said it way earlier than
Ty. He did say it earlier than Ty.
Yeah.
He didn't double down like Ty did.
Yeah. So I just think Allie was like, oh, dang it. Like Ty, I felt was so close to me. But I guess we're letting her go. So then we go to the map room.
Yeah, everyone's going to go in.
Every single person is like, Amsterdam.
Everyone but Biggie, and they are all 100% correct.
Yeah.
They all have the information.
They leave us hanging with Ty and what she's choosing to do. But then when it comes time for JDM to come on and do the elimination, he's gone again.
And she's shocked.
Her reaction. Remember last week when she was shocked that Rachel was eliminated? And this week she's like, me?
Yeah.
She can't believe it.
No.
She can't believe it.
And she rightfully stands up and is like, oh, my alliance.
JDM says, say your goodbyes and get off the bus. And she says, actually, I have some things to say other than goodbye. She stands up and turns around to face everyone. And she's like, here's what had happened.
Yeah. So she's like, my alliance. And then Biggie was like, but here, this was the twist. And of course, everybody is like, what?
Yeah.
This is how this game is playing?
Because she straight up calls out Biggie, Shane, and Allie. And I think Biggie's like, there's nothing wrong with me revealing the elimination twist here. And it's going to help me save face a little bit. Like, I didn't just do this to be devious and shady and strategic. I had to save myself.
Yeah, and especially now, Ty leaves the bus and the rest of them can keep talking. And Biggie doesn't have to be like, I'm not like cutthroat.
Right.
Like, I just had to do something, and she had gone against our group.
Yeah.
So I think that he doesn't have too much blowback on him other than Ty being upset.
Because it's really just about saving himself more than specifically eliminating Ty, even though I think he did want to specifically eliminate Ty.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to make it about that. You know?
Right.
It can just be like, it had to be somebody. I'm sorry it was Ty, but I just had to save myself.
Yeah. So she's upset. She's going to leave. And that's understandable. Again, I think I said this earlier, but I really enjoyed talking to Ty.
She was great in your exit interview. And the way she shared some stuff that you didn't see.
Yes.
Didn't she say she actually was trying to be in with Rick?
Yeah. She was talking about that she had been working on Rick she was like, because literally no one would even like talk to him. He had no friends. She was like, so they socially, she was trying to build a bond there. She talked about a lot
the Rachel
more
stuff.
Of course, I had to ask her about Rachel, and she said, I mean, y'all should go watch it.
Yeah.
But I was like, why the heck did you choose her for croquet?
She explained it beautifully, I thought, and it was strategic.
It was.
You really should watch the interview. This woman was thinking about the game and how to win, not just by having the most geography skills, but she kind of even says to you, I think, a little bit more about how she studied and prepared for the game. But she really was thinking about it from like a 360.
She was a much more strategic person than they showed us in the edit.
Yeah.
Which again, I don't think they're getting to show us much time-wise.
Time-wise, yeah.
But I really appreciated hearing how she was trying to maneuver things. Obviously, things will blow back in your face and you will get outed. And then she got outed off of the bus.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate. But yeah, also she revealed that Josh told her privately that he won Big Brother. And so she was trying to work with him because she thought, oh, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I like almost stopped the interview. I was like, what? He told you? I was so floored and shocked. And she was just like, yeah, he did. I was like, what the heck did he reveal that? Like, what are you doing, Josh?
Yeah.
Anyway, fun interview.
Yeah. Go watch it. Truly. She's great. And she looked gorgeous in the interview.
Oh, she's stunning.
She was in full glam.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful woman, very smart, very strategic. I'm a little bummed that she's out this early and we don't get to see more from her. But, you know, people outsmarted her. I think she made one sort of fatal mistake by lying about Janae.
Yep.
She probably would have been able to double down
on that
a little bit more.
She should have been like, oh,
because she had
to
good.
Tell you guys that.
Yeah,
you know,
she had good alliances set up. Like I think she was socially pretty well positioned. But it was really that lie that caused some of her most faithful allies to turn on her.
I do believe the washrooms are on the bus. Yes, there are vans and buses that follow them. I've learned that catering followed them in another bus so that they were not eating local cuisine to give that away.
Interesting.
But they're not allowed to leave the bus. So buses behind them, those people could come on the bus, but their bathrooms are somewhere on.
Can I ask another question that might seem stupid?
Please.
Catering is following them so that they don't eat local cuisine. But where's catering getting the food? If they're in Amsterdam, don't they have to buy food that's available in Amsterdam?
Maybe they stocked up in London. I don't know. It sounded like they were doing very
Maybe they're feeding them like factor meals.
There was a complaint that it was not seasoned. Though I think it was still like very bland
like
European
army meal ready to eat kind of vibe.
Something.
Huh.
So maybe they just stocked up on some pre-packaged foods
Yikes.
or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe we will get more of that information as people leave the bus.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they're not allowed to leave the bus. They're not allowed to get any of those clues. They truly are sensory deprecated right there. Deprived. Is that the better phrase? Sensory deprived on the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe frozen chicken nuggets and pizza.
Oh,
very Lord. American right there.
Very, yeah.
All right.
Bummed to lose Ty. There was no preview for the next episode. They're not really doing that. They're just doing recaps at the top of each episode,
well, where's the Netherlands and what's next?
I know. I think they have to like scooch over to Germany, I think.
Yeah, right?
Because I think if they keep going down, they're going to get like stuck in a corner with like Spain, Portugal, and then they're like at the end of Europe.
They might end there, but
maybe they're going to loop back. You know, we thought they were going to go to Germany in this episode, so we were wrong.
Where's Croatia? In Croatia
I think they would have to go like France and then Netherlands and then loop back around to Germany, and then they could go down Hungary, Croatia kind of thing. I think Austria, somewhere in there.
Ooh, let's do some Sound of Music in Austria.
Yeah. Oh my God, they have to. I think that was in the preview for the season. We see someone twirling in a field in a Maria von Trapp dress. So I think they're going to go to Austria this season, if I remember right.
Very fun. All right. Well, keep spicing up these episodes. Yes. I'm enjoying it. Thank you guys for everyone joining us here live in the chat. Appreciate you.
And if you're joining us later, please do leave a comment and let us know how you feel about Ty going home and this sort of nefarious plot to sabotage her and eliminate her. And let us know how you feel about Peter and Janae's sort of entree into the game and how they're setting themselves up. And
if you saw any other clues that we're missing, please tell us.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Or if you know why Dolly was actually a clue for Amsterdam and not a red herring, like clarify some of that stuff if you guys know more than we do.
And please join us on Monday. We have a very special 10-year anniversary, recap-iversary, celebratory evening planned, a live hang, reminiscent. We hope that you will join us for that.
Yes, please do.
All right. We'll see you next time. Bye.